What's going on, guys? We got the E30 here, ready to go for a rip. We're gonna take it on the first YouTube drive. Initial impressions, thoughts on the swap, was it worth it, this and that. Let's just get going. So, you guys know the E30. If you don't know the E30, M50 swapped, 325i 4-door, air suspension, G260, stock M50, nothing done internally. Full 3-inch exhaust with vibrant muffler, vibrant ultra quiet resonator. I got a short shift kit that I'm not sure which one, but I'll let you guys see what my shifts are like. So they're short. It's a really short shifter. Aside from that, don't think there's anything else much important for how it will drive. So got the GoPro set up right there. Maybe I'll have it there and then maybe I'll set it up somewhere else or get the head cam going. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. When I do these driving, do you guys like when the camera's on me and I'm talking? Or do you like it when it's like head mount like this? Or do you like window mount? Please let me know because I have no idea what people prefer. So first things first about the E30. Compared to my E34 on solid mounts and stuff, you can really just kind of tell like the E30 is like the 3 Series chassis, like the entry level, because this car is rattly and shaky and vibrating on these mounts. You know, part of it is obviously due to the fact that the M50 and the G260, like the G260 sits basically on the trans tunnel. The clearance is small and all that stuff, but it is just super vibrating. You just a lot of stuff rattles and stuff. Unlike the 5 Series interior, which just feels much better put together. I'm not gonna get too into that. I'm gonna save that for probably like a comparison video between the two cars. But this car is also on a, I'm trying to remember, FX Racing, which is like eBay clutches. It's on a stage 1 FX kit, lightweight flywheel, unsprung clutch. So the clutch setup is really noisy on this car. That's the one thing. My first drive after the exhaust, I got super scared because all I was getting was just rattle from the trans, and I was like, oh, and it would go away with the clutch. So I was like, okay, so something that I replaced went bad already, and I was so irritated. And I had all my friends come out and listen to it, and turns out it was just a single mass lightweight flywheel. It's really noisy. I love it though. It's really responsive. The clutch pedal, not too stiff, but definitely not stock soft. I mean, like, it feels good. Like, it is the perfect like pressure that I would like from a clutch setup. So I love it. I think they're only like 250 bucks or something. Like, all right, so initial impressions on the swap. I've been driving it for about a week now, making sure everything's good with it, making sure it's solid. I still think I have a few things to kind of dial. One of which is the charging system. Either the battery, the alternator is bad, because when the air kicks on or when the lights are on, it surges idle really bad. So something's up with the charging. M50s are not considered like fast motors, but like in this car, they're like perfect. Like, this car should have came with an M50 from the factory, because it feels so good in this car. Like, this car feels quick. Like, it is a lot of fun to drive. Like, first second, like, it puts you back. So is it noticeably better from the M20? Absolutely, every day of the week. I don't have a ton of experience driving M20s. You know, this car was running on 5 cylinders when I first started driving it with the spun rod, and then I launched it, so it wasn't really much to compare to, but it feels certainly quicker. I think in like paper, it's only like a 30 horsepower difference, but this thing feels way better. So the M50 in this car, you really just kind of feel the engine better than you do in like the 5 Series or an E36. Like, you actually feel the Vanos put you back in this car, and it is the weirdest feeling. Like, E30s are so light and tiny, I think like 2,600 pounds, 2,800 pounds, but like you literally feel at like 55, you feel the extra, like it's almost like the turbo kicks in. You literally feel it put you back, and you're like, wow, like I am moving. And it's just a stock M50. Like, people that do S50, S52, those literally must be the most fun cars ever, because like that extra, what, like 60 horsepower, 80 horsepower must make a world of difference, because this M50 over M20, 30 horsepower, and it is like a night and day difference. Like, you put it in 5th gear, like it actually moves. Like, here, I'll drop it down to like 4th, just give you guys like a 4th gear, like just see what it's like it picks up speed pretty quick. You guys were wondering like what this car would compare to. Me and Eustace did some side-by-sides in his E36 M3, and the E30 actually pulls away from the M3 in second and third, but then my gearing is much shorter. I believe I have the 373 in this thing. So I will pull away from him like fast, and then like I'll shift and he will just fly by me. Once I get into the next gear and get into the kind of the power band again, I do kind of catch back up to him, but not quite enough to, I don't think, win the race. We only did like 2 pulls. Honestly, we need like a good like 5, 6 to kind of like really like kind of be able to like say what is like the faster car. But the E30 certainly, like the M50 takes it off the line, which is really surprising to me, because the S52 isn't like, doesn't have that much high of a red line, but I guess what little it does do, and like the longer gearing does make a pretty big difference, because then he just kind of blasts by me. I'll try to get some footage of that eventually. But so yeah, you can compare an M50 E30 to an E36 M3. I would say that's a pretty fair comparison. But again, E36 M3s don't feel impressive. They don't feel fast. But an E30 with an M50 feels quick. So you're probably looking at like the same quickness. Obviously the power difference is there, but the weight difference is there. So because of that, they kind of even out. But yeah, you could compare the quickness of the two to be the same, but the E30 is just much more impressive as opposed to the E36. Like, you feel the power. Like, the power is more fun. Like, that's like the main thing. Like, the power in an E30 is really fun. Like, it doesn't have to be a lot, but it's just fun as hell. Like, here, I'll take you around like over here. Oh, big bump. Here, let me give this guy some room. Like third, here we go. And that 3-inch exhaust with the vibrant parts is just heaven. Like, the noise is so good. Like, I love this car. It is so dialed. Like, this car, I've been driving it all week. I daily drove this thing every day of the week last week. That's hard for me to do with all the cars. Like, normally, like, I just kind of like, Like, I really love driving this car. I think I'd like driving this car a lot more than I thought I would. The air suspension is nice. I'm still kind of figuring out how to dial in and stuff. Like, I'm still trying to get my ride height and all that crap. But it feels really solid. And the everything about the car is nice. The only thing I need is hub-centric rings. I got the wrong size ones, so I don't think you can see the wheel, but it just bops at about 60 plus. All right, so we're in first gear, and I'll give you guys a row through the gears. Yeah, so you heard me brake traction in second. That was like a hard shift, but yeah. So it spins a little bit going from first to second. I think I rubbed in my first. I think the rear squatted a lot. But you see, it puts me back. I mean, it puts me back kind of like how the 540 puts me back. I mean, like, between this and the 540, it wouldn't really be that close. The 540 walks E36 M3s, so I believe it would walk this. Right off the line, maybe this car would kind of catch up, but I think the torque would really get the 540, you know, really pull me out. But you know, it's not no 500 horsepower turbo E34. It's not a turbo car, but for NA goodness, it is just solid. It's so, like that pull is fun. You know, not only like the quickness factor, but if you just want to do this swap, M50s are just more. They're more modern. I want to say more reliable. M50, M20, both reliable as hell. But if you guys ever own an M20 or an M30, there's a lot of like, at least with my experience, everyone I've owned, they're just so ancient that they always need the valves adjusted, or there's vacuum leaks and stuff. If you've fully gone through one, I'm sure it's a little bit different. But you always kind of have a feeling that they're not quite running how you want them to run, and then you're always kind of left with like a. They don't like to idle strong, like smooth. They like to surge. My 635s both did it. My E28 did it. They're super just picky and stuff. So to get rid of that and have an M50, and don't get me wrong, I love M20s, I love M30s, but to just kind of throw a modern M50 in, just the smooth idle, the quiet motor. Like, in my eyes, it's a simpler motor than in like an M20 car, just because, you know, you don't have like cap and rotor crap, and you know, you don't have valve adjustments, which is nice. Was the swap worth it? I absolutely think the swap was worth it. But if I was to do it again, not that it's a ton of work, it's not like custom fab work, like you can buy everything to get it in there, there's nothing that special about it. If I did it again, just considering that it is, you know, it's a swap, I mean, you know, things don't go in as easy as you'd like, it gets a little tricky at times, I would probably opt to do an S52 or an S50, just because why not? It's the same thing as the M50, all the swap parts are the same, but you're just getting that extra horsepower, you know? Like S52 is, I think S50 and S52, aren't they both rated for like 240 horsepower or something like that? 260? I don't know, but the M50 is like 189, I think, in the book. So, you know, whatever, 50 horsepower. You really feel that in this car, though. You know, in a bigger car, maybe not. But like in a, not a turbo, but in an E30, it's just such a lightweight, small car. You like really feel it. The price range, obviously, I'm gonna make a price video. So I'm actually gonna make a video about like the cost of everything, so you guys can get kind of like an idea. But the M50 can be had for damn cheap. The M50 or the S52, those aren't so cheap. Those are you know, those cost a fair amount of money. I think like an S52 is like $3 grand, like average, like around there, and a M50 you can get for like 800 bucks. So, all right, so now we got the head mount on, so we can get you guys some actual clips, and I'll shut up a little bit now. See, I'm excited to take this thing on some corners up here. I haven't done that yet. But you see, I mean, she goes to 60 pretty quick. Oh, and the check engine light is my evap thing, so ignore that. Bunch of bicyclists. Oh my God, look, a 2002. Oh, that's so cool. Look at this. Oh, and the police. I feel like I need to put my head mount down for that. I don't know. I don't know if it's frowned upon to drive with one of these on or not. I can't tell. Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good way to get pulled over wearing a head mount. I feel like that obviously that means you're up to no good. That was a sweet 2002. The guy gave me a nice head nod. I'm sure the JDM wheels aren't his cup of tea, but nonetheless, he gave me the respectful head nod. But yeah, so I'm gonna take it easy right here just in case. 34, yes, they corner good, but you know, you really feel the bigness of it and, you know, the boatiness. Whereas this, you know, E30 steering rack makes a huge difference. I'm a pro steering box guy. I like the E34 steering boxes, but I also really kind of enjoy the rack, just the responsiveness you get, and it's such a light steering feel in this car too. Like, it steers so light just because the weight of the car and, you know, obviously rack. So you see, that's fourth gear. Like, you get going pretty quickly. Like, that was kind of impressive. But like E34 525, right? So stock M50, you don't feel any like pulling power in anything above second gear. First gear, obviously. Second gear, even then, you're kind of like eh. But third, fourth, fifth, you don't get nothing. This car, third and fourth, I mean, even in the fifth, if you're kind of high on the RPMs, like, like, yeah, even right now, like it puts you back. Like, I'm not saying it puts you back like, you know, like fast, but I mean like you know, the torque of the M50 in this car really kind of gets you there. Of course, I get stuck behind traffic. I noticed that with all these solid trans mounts and stuff, you do hear the trans whine a little bit. You know, it might be my diff whining. I'm gonna have to look into that. Definitely need diff fluid in this thing, or a diff fluid change. But yeah, I don't know. You hear a lot of whining. It's just my one complaint about E30s is that there's a lot of transmitted noise in the chassis as opposed to the bigger cars like the 5. You hear a lot more stuff like with the solid mounts. Like, you really hear the trans. Like, you guys probably hear it on video, like the whining and stuff. Thumbs up, guy in a GTO. That thing sounded mean. So a few things the E30 definitely needs. I definitely need a set of brakes. When the brake booster broke and I had my brakes that were always applied, that definitely wore them down pretty bad. They fade pretty easily. They don't feel too good. On top of that, I need a new steering wheel. I don't know if you guys can tell. This wheel is on a short hub, or a hub, which is really long, and then it's super concave, so the wheel is like in my face, and it's like my whole hand length away from the turn signal. It's super obnoxious to drive. So I need a wheel, I need brakes. I might be needing a diff mount. The more I shift kind of hard, the more I think I hear that diff mount making noise. So it needs some fine tuning, it needs some love. Like I said, I've been driving it all week, kind of seeing everything that I want to do with it, everything that it needs. It feels super well put together. I think, you know, aside from the, you know, the vacuum things I need to check out, I think the engine bay is pretty good, like pretty solid, which honestly surprises me. I was expecting to have like a few hiccups, but I'll give you guys one last second gear here and before I send it back to the house. Yeah, so you can get in trouble in E30, definitely. It is crazy to me that you can just go rip this out of an E34, drop it in an E30 with minimal, you know, special required things, and you have made your E30 that much more fun. Does this get the Josh stamp of approval? Absolutely. So there you guys have it. I have absolutely beaten the hell out of this thing this past 20 minutes or so. This thing is just an absolute blast. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more M50 Swap E30, let me know. I haven't driven it this hard yet, so much for a clutch break-in. I skipped that a little bit, but I guess that's what I was driving it all week for. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.